Welcome to Conditioning for Dancers Level 4. These preparatory exercises are designed to take approximately 15 minutes and to progress strengthening the core, controlled articulation through the spine, and increasing the challenge of moving limbs against a strong and stable trunk. As always, we also continue to warm up the foot and ankle complex. Many of these exercises were presented in previous levels, but we now begin to increase the level of difficulty by increasing the number of repetitions as well as introducing variations meant to challenge mobility, control, and strength. Let's begin with the abdominals and the single bent leg stretch preparation series. Dancers will be in hook lying position and lift their knees to a 90-90 tabletop position, one leg at a time. Keeping their head, neck, and shoulders on the floor and maintaining neutral spine, dancers should place their right hand on the inside of the left knee and their left hand on the outside of the left calf or ankle. Dancers will then hug their left knee close to their chest while extending the right leg out so that it is approximately 1 foot off the floor. Then they will smoothly switch legs and hand positions. Dancers should inhale for 2 repetitions and then exhale for 2 repetitions. This exercise is repeated for 8 hug extension cycles, and then a second set of the same exercise is performed. The object of this exercise is to maintain neutral spine through the use of strong abdominal engagement. So watch out for rib flare, loss of low back imprint, or loss of pelvic stability that will be seen in rocking from side to side. If necessary, have the dancers raise their leg height towards the ceiling to help them maintain a neutral spine. You may also slow the tempo down or have the dancers rest and reset neutral spine between sets. The next exercise, the dead bug series, is also meant to challenge abdominals. Dancers will be positioned in the hook lying position and lift their knees to a 90-90 tabletop, one leg at a time. Keeping their knees bent in 90 degrees and maintaining neutral spine, the dancers will lower 1 foot towards the floor approximately 8 inches and then return to tabletop position. Repeat on the other side. Dancers should perform 2 sets of 8 repetitions, and this exercise should be done slowly with an emphasis on control. Decrease the range of motion or decrease the number of repetitions in order to help dancers maintain correct technique. You may also have them take a break between the sets to reset their spine position. Moving on to strengthening the back and the glutes, we will repeat bridges in parallel that was taught in the previous level. Dancers will lie on their back with their knees bent and feet resting on the floor. Have them pull their belly button towards their spine, inhale in place, and then exhale while lifting the hips up towards the ceiling and articulating through the spine. Dancers will inhale in place at the top of the exercise and then exhale and return to their starting position, also articulating through their spine. Have the dancers repeat this exercise 5 times. Next, we will progress the bridges to a turned out position. Dancers keep their feet on the floor and open their knees in a small frog position. They will perform 5 repetitions using the same spine articulation and breath pattern used in the parallel bridge set. Watch out for rib flare and strain in the neck and shoulders. If necessary, have the dancers decrease their range of motion or height of their hip lift to make sure that they maintain proper technique throughout the exercise. We'll now move on to moving limbs against a strong and stable trunk. We will repeat the side-lying clamshell series from the previous level. Dancers lie on their side with their knees bent, hips stacked, and abdominal muscles drawn in. Keeping their heels touching, they will lift and rotate their top knee towards the ceiling without moving the spine or rocking the pelvis forward or backward. Limit the range of motion of the top knee so that the hips remain stacked. And remember Do not let the dancers prop their head up from the floor with their hands, as this introduces a curve into the spine. Dancers should perform 2 sets of 15 repetitions on each leg. Have dancers decrease their range of motion or lie with their spine and pelvis against a wall to ensure alignment and stability if necessary. Once dancers have completed this basic sideline clamshell series, we will introduce a passe variation. Dancers will lie on their side with knees bent, hips stacked, and abdominal muscles drawn in. They will then straighten their bottom leg and perform the clamshell series with the top leg only, essentially a parallel to turned out passe. Again, it is important to maintain a neutral spine and pelvic stability. Dancers should perform 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Remember, you can have them decrease their range of motion or lie with their spine and pelvis against a wall to ensure alignment and stability if necessary. Switching back to core control, we'll now work on lateral strength with the lateral plank series. Dancers will lie on their side with their knees bent, belly drawn towards the spine, and maintaining a neutral position. They should lift their hips off the floor, planking from forearm to knees. Keep the elbows directly under their shoulders. At this level, they should be able to hold this exercise for 30 seconds. Watch out for rib flare, neck or shoulder strain, or sinking into the shoulder. If necessary, dancers may keep their hips on their floor and essentially plank from elbow to waistline, or you may need them to decrease the amount of time held in the upper position if they are having difficulty maintaining correct technique. The next exercise, the prone extension dart, was also introduced in the previous level, and it is an important preparatory exercise for the remaining back strengthening exercises. Dancers will lie on their stomach with their legs straight and arms down by their side with the palms facing the floor. They should draw their belly towards the spine and engage the glutes to elongate the lower back. Upon inhale, the dancers will lift their arms 1 inch off the floor and extend the sternum forward, up, and away from the floor without sinking into the lower back or allowing the shoulders to move towards the ears. Dancers should hold the elevated position for 4 seconds and then lower and exhale. This exercise is repeated 8 times. Keep in mind that if technique is an issue, please have them decrease their range of motion in the elevated position. Once this exercise is completed, we'll have the dancers move on to prone hip extension. Still lying on their stomach with their legs straight, dancers' elbows are now bent and their hands are stacked one on top of the other. They may rest their forehand on the back of the top hand. Drawing their belly towards their spine and engaging their glutes, dancers will elongate their lower back. While exhaling, they should lift one leg into the air without sinking into the low back or rotating the pelvis. The focus of this exercise is on controlling the hips and the pelvis and not the height of the leg. Dancers will repeat this exercise 16 times, alternating legs. Watch out for the drop in the waistline into the floor, which indicates a loss of spine length and loss of abdominal support. Have dancers decrease the height of their leg if they are having difficulty controlling their spine position. Now we will move on to foot articulation. We'll begin with the doming series. In this case, we're trying to strengthen the midfoot. Dancers will sit tall on the floor with one leg crossed over the other so that the sole of the foot of the high knee is on the floor. While keeping the ball of the foot on the floor, dancers should elongate their toes, pressing the back of their toes into the floor as if they are pressing against a point shoe. And then they will pull the ball of the foot toward the heel, creating a higher dome in the arch of the foot. Make sure the dancers do not curl their toes under, as we are looking for an elongated forefoot and a high arched midfoot. The final exercise in the Level 4 conditioning series is toe articulation. Dancers will sit tall on the floor with one leg stretched out and the other knee bent with the sole of the foot on the floor. They will articulate through the toes by lifting them one at a time from the floor, starting with the big toe and ending with the little toe. And then they will reverse the order, putting the toes back down on the floor, starting with the little toe and ending with the big toe. Dancers should perform 2 repetitions, starting the series with the big toes, and then perform a second set of 2 repetitions, starting the progression from the small toe and ending with the big toe. The ball of the foot should stay on the floor the entire time, but dancers may use their hands or fingers as needed to assist in clear articulation between each toe. This ends the Level 4 conditioning series. Thank you very much. We'll see you for Level 5.